RDK sprinted off the school grounds, his worn-out football tucked tightly under his arm. He reached the dirt pitch, his heart full of hope, but his first touch was a disaster. The ball skidded away, rolling directly into a deep, muddy puddle. A group of boys nearby began to snicker and point. As RDK rushed to retrieve it, his feet tangled, and he tripped, falling face first into the dirt. The laughter grew louder, echoing against the school walls. By sunset, he sat alone on a cold metal bench, his chest heaving with exhaustion and shame. He wiped the thick mud from his knees and stared blankly at the grass, wondering if he even belonged on this field. The silence of the empty pitch felt heavier than the failure itself. Mr. Kareem, a man with a weathered clipboard and eyes that had seen 1,000 games, stopped his walk. He looked down at the boy. "Why are you sitting here instead of playing?" Kareem asked. His voice steady. RDK simply pointed at the ball, his voice trembled. "I miss every pass. I am just not built for this, sir." Kareem sat down beside him, the metal bench creaking. He tapped his watch with a firm finger. "Listen to me," Kareem said. "Talent is nothing more than a head start. Hard work is the only thing that reaches the finish line. If you want this, see you here tomorrow at dawn. Don't be late." Those words hung in the air long after Kareem walked away. The next morning, the field was dark, damp, and unforgiving. RDK arrived before the sun had even touched the horizon. He set up 5 plastic cones in a jagged, challenging line. He dribbled through them, over and over, until his legs burned like fire. He spent hours kicking the ball against the cold brick wall of the school, catching the rebound and pivoting with newfound precision. He sprinted laps until he could no longer feel his lungs, breathing in the freezing morning air. Weeks blurred into long months of isolation. His shins were constantly bruised, and his boots wore thin, but a change was happening. He stopped tripping. His passes now hit the wall with a sharp, rhythmic crack that sounded like progress. He was no longer the boy in the puddle. When the school tournament finally arrived, the air was electric. The score was tied in the dying minutes, and the pressure was suffocating. Suddenly, RDK received a long, soaring pass at midfield. He didn't stumble. He cut inside, weaving past the first defender with a grace that silenced the crowd. A second defender lunged with a desperate tackle, but RDK tapped the ball left, leaving the opponent empty-handed and chasing shadows. He reached the edge of the penalty box. This was the moment. He planted his foot firmly, leaned over the ball, and drove his laces through its center. The net rippled with a violent force. The crowd roared in a deafening wave of sound. His team reached the finals, and RDK dominated every inch of the pitch. With scouts watching from the sidelines, he threaded a perfect, sliding pass for an assist and smashed 2 more goals past the stunned keeper. As the final whistle blew, a scout walked onto the pitch holding a contract folder. "We need your discipline at our academy," the scout said. RDK took the folder, his hands finally steady. Years later, RDK stood in a massive stadium under the blinding glow of 1,000 floodlights. Thousands of voices chanted his name in a rhythmic thunder. He looked down at his arm and adjusted his captain's armband, taking a deep, steady breath. As he signaled for the kickoff, he remembered the cold metal bench and the empty, dark field where it all began. He stepped forward into the light, no longer afraid, ready to play the game he had earned. The journey was long, but he had finally reached the finish line.